Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, and take a look at your Christmas forecast. Traveling overall during the Christmas week is not going to be that bad. It's going to be a little bit wet in some places, but as far as any real snow is concerned, you're going to have to head out west towards the Rockies or up into the Northeast. But other than that, temperatures are going to be fairly mild. Now let's take a look at your Tuesday. This is Christmas Eve temperature forecast. And you see temperatures not bad. Yellow reflect normal temperatures. Normal highs now are in the lower 40s for the Ohio Valley with nighttime lows in the middle 20s. Middle to upper 20s for the most part for this area. So on Tuesday it's going to be pretty close to normal, so that's not too bad. The real cold air is really sitting up into Canada. There's a pocket there into the Rockies itself. Now for Christmas Day, it's starting to warm up. This whole air mass is starting to modify somewhat, and we're going to see that trend over the next several days until possibly later on towards the new year. We'll be talking about that here in just a second. But Christmas Day, not too bad. So any real precipitation falling in this area will fall in the liquid form. We could be seeing some snow up around the up into the Great Lakes area as well as the Rockies. Here we go on Thursday. Notice again, more yellows now starting to show up. So temperatures are modifying across most of the country. So it's not going to be too bad. That's on Thursday. Come Friday, we're starting to see a little bit well above normal now, stretching into the mid-Mississippi Valley. Pretty nice along the Gulf Coast here. But notice now, I want you to point out here, up here, that we're starting to see some blues showing up there in central Canada. Watch what happens here as we head on into closer towards the weekend. You're seeing some darker blues now into the Rockies itself, and that area blue still hanging tough up in Canada. As we head on into your Sunday, notice there's a storm system there right around the Great Lakes area, and that's going to produce possibly some severe weather, some strong thunderstorms, and that's on into your next weekend itself. But notice this area blue now starting to expand somewhat. And even as we work our way into New Year's Eve, now this is a week from tomorrow, notice this large area of expansion of blue, and it's actually colder up in central Canada, and it looks like we're going to start tapping some of that for the first week of January, and especially looks like now into the middle part of January. And here's also some interesting news. We are now starting to increase our daylight. Only a couple seconds a day at this point in time, but the coldest air, normal high temperatures generally occur right around mid-January, and so that's when the real cold air starts working its way southward, and it looks like this may fall into that pattern. Something we will certainly keep an eye on. This is for New Year's Eve. That storm system that you can see there in Wisconsin, that's going to produce more rain in this area, so traveling for New Year's Day, New Year's shouldn't be too much of an issue as far as snow is concerned. Precipitation now. This is on Christmas Eve. You see a pocket of some pretty heavy weather there in the lower Mississippi, middle Mississippi Valley area, and you could be looking at potentially some pounding on the road, so kind of keep an eye on that. But notice along the west coast, you're really getting hit there, as well as up in the northeast. Any real snow along the Great Lakes and maybe up into the northeast. This is for Christmas Eve. For Christmas Day itself, that system weakens a little bit, but it does bring in some precipitation, not a lot, but across the Midwest here and the lower Mississippi Valley. Any real snow is going to be occurring out here in the Rockies, and look, another major system heading up into the west coast itself there as well. Here on Thursday, again, you're having some showers there in the Midwest. Here comes another little bit of energy. We're in a very active storm period, especially for those of you in this area and also the West Coast. Again, snow in the higher elevations of the Rockies there on your Thursday. Come Friday, that system really gets cranked up. There's going to be quite a bit of precipitation. Could see a pocket of some severe weather. Nothing nasty, but we could see some very gusty winds, some very heavy rainfall with that. Also notice down here around Florida, looks like you're going to have a nice little wet weekend moving into your area as well. So kind of keep an eye on that. That's where we could get some really nasty severe weather will be down into the Sunshine State of Florida itself. As we work our way now on into your Sunday, looking Saturday, Sunday, more precipitation across the Midwest. That's when that first system is going to start tapping some of that colder air. But this system that's along the West Coast is the one that's really going to start tapping that very Arctic air for the first part of January itself. And here we go for New Year's Eve. We're seeing that's another system, another bit of energy. Again, there could be some strong thunderstorms in the Ohio Valley, stretching down towards the Tennessee Valley into the Gulf of Mexico in and of itself. Here comes another little bit of energy. So this is going to tap some colder air, but this is really going to open up the spigot, bringing in that Arctic air, it looks like, up into the north. So overall, not too bad of a Christmas week when it comes to temperatures. Yes, there's going to be some precipitation around, but as long as temperatures stay above freezing, we're not going to see any real snow that would cause some travel problems. On the flip side of that, that means most of us, unfortunately, will not be seeing a white Christmas. So that's kind of unfortunate from that standpoint. Getting closer to New Year's, though, here's that system really getting cranked up into the Great Lakes. So again, for New Year's, it's not going to be too bad, but very wet up here, up in the Great Lakes area around Canada. But that's going to, again, notice the snow now starting to fly up into the Rockies. That's that cold Arctic air that's going to be streaming southward. Now, how cold is it going to be? There could be some 10 to 15, maybe 20 degrees below normal for the first week of January. We're still a long ways away from that, at least by the middle part of January. If that's the case, we could be looking at single digits right here in the Ohio Valley. So something to plan for, but again, overall, traveling during this Christmas week, not too bad. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm George, the Weather Dad.